0. Not negative. Not positive. 0. You think 0 is the bottom. It isn't. 0 is the diving board. You're 22. No debt, no card, no lease. You own nothing that loses value, because you own nothing at all. You feel free. You tell your friends you're not really a money person. You will remember saying that later, when the word money is the only thing you think about from the moment you open your eyes. In 10 years, you will be $200,000 below the place you're standing right now. And you will not remember deciding to jump. The first debt doesn't feel like debt. That's the trap. That is always the trap. It's a phone. The good one on a plan, $40 a month for 30 months. The salesperson says it like it's nothing because to him it is nothing. You sign your name on a screen. You walk out holding a glass rectangle worth more than everything else you own combined. You don't think of it as $1,200. You think of it as 40. And this is the first thing you learn without realizing you're learning it. The mind cannot feel a number it pays in slices. Then it's a couch because you can't sit on the floor like a student forever. Then it's a flight home for the holidays because the alternative was not going home. Then it's a vet bill, $380, for a cat you got for free. None of these were stupid. That's the part nobody tells you. Every single one of them was reasonable. Every single one of them on its own was fine. You are now $3,400 in the negative. And you have no memory of deciding to be. The first rule. Debt at the bottom is not a choice you make. It's the sum of choices that each felt too small to count. You cross 9,000 in the negative without noticing the exact moment. There's no alarm. No line you watch yourself step over. The credit card was supposed to be for emergencies. You find out, slowly, that your definition of emergency expands to fit the available credit. A dinner is an emergency when your friends are going. A jacket is an emergency when yours has a hole and it's October. The word stretches until it covers anything you want badly enough. You start carrying a balance. You tell yourself it's temporary. You will tell yourself it's temporary for 6 years. By the time you understand the difference between a want and a need, you owe $11,000 across 2 cards. You pay $190 a month, and the balance goes down by 40 of that. The rest is interest. The rest is rent on money you already spent. You do the math once. You see that the card you used for a $60 dinner 2 years ago will be paid off when you are 31. You close the tab. You do not do the math again for a long time. And you stop opening the banking app the way you used to. The number became information you couldn't act on. So you stopped looking. This is the first thing debt takes from you before it takes any money. It takes your willingness to know. The second rule. The poor check their balance out of fear. The broke stop checking it out of self-protection. That's the line you just crossed. For 4 years, the student loan was a number on a statement you ignored because it wasn't real yet. School made it abstract. Then the grace period ends. And on a Tuesday, it becomes a withdrawal. $340. Every month. Automatic. You didn't feel rich before, but you felt like the floor was the floor. Now the floor has a trapdoor and it opens on the first of every month, and the money falls through it before you've even touched it. You get a raise. A real one. For $1,000 a year. For one paycheck, you feel it. You stand a little straighter. Then you realize the raise is already spoken for. The loan eats it. The card eats what's left. You got a raise and your life did not change by a single dollar. And that is a specific kind of madness you cannot explain to anyone who isn't living it. You start telling yourself a story. The story is, when I make more, this fixes itself. You will tell yourself this story for years. It is the most expensive sentence in your life. And it costs you nothing to say, which is exactly why you keep saying it. You are 25. Your net worth is $31,000 in the negative and falling. And from the outside, you look completely fine. That's the thing about this level. It's invisible. Everyone around you is at it too, and nobody says a word. Someone tells you about a personal loan that consolidates everything into one low payment. Feels like rescue. 1 payment instead of 5. A lower rate, they say. And they're not lying exactly. You sign. And for about a month, you feel like you took control. Here is what actually happened. You moved the debt. You didn't reduce it. You stretched the runway from 5 years to 7, which means you'll pay more in total, but in smaller pieces, which your mind, remember, cannot feel. And the cards you just paid off with the loan sit there at 0. Available. Patient. Within a year, they are not at 0 anymore. Now you have the loan and the cards. The consolidation didn't close the wound. It just gave you a fresh place to bleed. You cross 66,000 in the negative. You're 27. You start doing the thing where you calculate in your head whether you can afford to be sick, whether you can afford the dentist, whether you can afford a single day off. You become an actuary of your own body. You learn that a filling costs $4 a month of overtime, stretched across a year, and you start pricing pain that way, in installments. The third rule. At the bottom, money isn't what you spend. It's the permission slip for everything you're allowed to feel, do, fix, or become. And you are running out of permission. This is the level where it stops being only yours. You borrow $2,000 from a friend. You mean to pay it back in 2 months. You pay back $600. And then there's a gap. And the gap becomes a silence. And the silence becomes the friendship now. You still see them. It's just that there's a number sitting in the room between you that you both pretend isn't there. You stop going to things. Not because you're not invited. Because the invitation has a price tag, and the price tag is in a currency you're overdrawn in. A wedding. A weekend away. And we're all chipping in. You become extremely good at the casual excuse. You build a whole vocabulary for the word no that never once contains the real word, which is can't. Your partner finds out the real number, not the number you told them, the real one. There is a specific quality to that conversation that you will not forget. It's not anger. Anger you could work with. It's the recalculation happening quietly behind their eyes. The sound of someone revising a future they had been building in their head. Debt at this level stops being financial. It becomes a fact about who you are to the people who love you. And you cannot refinance that. The fourth rule. Money problems travel. They start in your account and they end in your relationships. And the exchange rate is brutal. You're 84,000 in the negative. You are 29. You still haven't told your parents. You thought 84,000 was the bottom. You're wrong again. You are always wrong about the bottom. That's the one consistent feature of this entire descent. Every floor has a basement. A medical thing, or a car that finally dies on a highway, or a job that ends in a meeting that takes 4 minutes. The category doesn't matter. What matters is that it arrives when you have no margin. And a person with no margin doesn't absorb shocks. They transmit them straight into more debt. You take the cash advance. You know what the cash advance costs. The interest rate on it is a number that would have horrified you at 22. At 31, you take it without flinching because the alternative is a wall, and a wall does not care about a percentage. And you discover the bottom tier of the financial system, the one that exists specifically for people like you at this exact moment. The payday structure, the buy now pay later, stacked 4 deep, the overdraft you now live inside of permanently, paying $35 to access $200 of your own next paycheck, early every 2 weeks. Forever. This is the part the people above this level cannot understand and judge the hardest. They say, why would you ever pay for 100% interest? They say it from a place that has never been in a room with no door. You pay it because at the bottom, time costs more than money. You are buying 3 days. And 3 days is everything when the lights are about to go off. You cross 119,000 in the negative. You stopped counting the components a long time ago. It's just one weight now, one number pressing down. Something strange happens here. And nobody warns you because nobody talks about this level at all. You adapt. The panic that defined 30,000 is gone. Not because the situation improved. It's far, far worse. But because the human nervous system cannot sustain alarm forever. It recalibrates. Crisis becomes climate. You wake up at 135,000 in the negative the way someone else wakes up to rain. You note it. You get dressed. You go. This adaptation feels like strength. It is not strength. It is the most dangerous thing that has happened to you yet. because the discomfort was the only thing that was ever going to make you act. And you just lost it. You made peace with the basement. And the basement, sensing peace, quietly opens another trapdoor. You start to build an identity around it. You become the friend who's bad with money. You make the joke before anyone else can. You wear the broke like a personality, so that it can never be used against you as a wound. It's a clever defense. It is also a cage with the door welded shut from the inside. The fifth rule. The poor are still trying to escape. The truly broke have stopped trying and started decorating the cell. The day you make peace with the number is the day the number wins. You are 33. You haven't checked the full total in over a year. You could not tell someone the real figure if they asked you to your face. You have achieved a kind of terrible serenity. And then you have a kid, or a younger sibling starts looking up to you, or simply someone small is watching how you do money, the way you once watched someone else. And you realize the descent was never going to stop with you. This is the thing debt does that no spreadsheet will ever show you. Teaches. A child raised inside scarcity learns scarcity as a native language. The flinch at a price tag. The shame around wanting. The belief, absorbed before they can even name it, that money is a thing that happens to you and not a thing you direct. You catch yourself saying the exact sentences your parents said. We can't afford it. Money doesn't grow on trees. Must be nice. You hear the inheritance leaving your mouth and landing on someone smaller than you. And for the first time in years, the serenity cracks. This is the only thing that has ever cracked it. Not your own suffering. You had made friends with that years ago. There's the thought of theirs. You are 171,000 in the negative. And for the first time since you were 25, you open the banking app on purpose. You look at the real number. All of it. You let it hurt. You had forgotten that it even could. The sixth rule. You will not change to save yourself. You've proven that for a decade. You will only change when staying the same costs someone else more than it costs you. $200,000 in the negative. Here is what nobody tells you about the deepest tier. It is quiet. There is no rock bottom scene with a slam door and a breakdown on the kitchen floor. The movies lied to you about that. Rock bottom is a Tuesday afternoon, and a spreadsheet you finally fully open. Every account, every balance, the loans and the cards and the advances, and the $2,000 you still owe a friend that you will never not owe in your heart, even after you pay it back. You add it all up, and the number is worse than your worst guess, because you had been protecting yourself from it for years, and the protection had a price, and the price compounded. And then, strangely, finally, you feel something other than fear or numbness. You feel the floor. For 10 years you were falling, and falling has no information in it. Nothing to push against, nothing to stand on. But a floor, even a floor this far down, is solid. You can stand on it. And the moment you can stand, you can finally see the actual distance to the top. Instead of just feeling the wind of the fall. You don't pay it off today. That would be a lie. And lies are what got you here. The hole is real, and it will take years, and most of those years will look like nothing at all from the outside. But something has inverted. The number stopped being a verdict and became a measurement. A verdict is who you are. A measurement is just where you are. And the entire descent, all 12 years of it, was the cost of learning in your body the difference between those two things. The seventh rule. Debt isn't the absence of money. It's a relationship with the future, conducted on terms you set back when you knew the least. And growing up, financially, is the slow, unglamorous renegotiation of those terms. With a version of yourself who is, finally, in the room. And somewhere right now, in a bank branch on the other side of the city, someone who is 22 is opening their very first account. The balance is zero. They feel free. They tell the person next to them that they're not really a money person. They own nothing that loses value because they own nothing at all. They think zero is the bottom. They have no idea it's the diving board. They have no idea how far down it goes, or that the falling can be survived, or that the floor, when they finally find it, will not be the end of them. It always starts at zero. It always does.